The stage is all yours, Mr. Pradeep.
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. First and foremost, I sincerely thank the ICT Academy, Mr. Shiv Kumar, Mr. Anbu, Mr. Suresh Babu, Mr. Amarnath to kind of take time to invite us and take good care of us here. I also, my very, very sincere thanks to all of you to take out time from your busy schedule, from your classes, from your institutions to come and listen to us. Like anything, I think for you it's a different experience from a point of view that from teachers, you come here and try to gain something from industry. Believe me, it is for us, and we are talking there that when we come to these kind of forums, it is a huge learning experience for us, from you people and from our other colleagues, and we take it back with us. So I'm grateful to ICT Academy to kind of make these kind of bridging events happen. With that, I will talk about a few things about the topic which is given to me, which is power of social media in education. I have deliberately, very thoughtfully refrained from making a presentation. First and foremost, because I wanted to talk to you person to person, and not person to person and person to machine. Okay, and the whole idea of social media is very intriguing, is very interesting, and at the same time very scary. Okay, so I would like to kind of touch upon three different aspects. The first and foremost is what is the potential which is there for us in this room, okay, to leverage on power of social media. What are the issues, what are the risks, what are the concerns involved in tapping this power from the social media, and last but not the least, what we can do to make progress, to take have path forward in this. So quick question, when we talk about social media, what are the big names which come to our mind? Facebook, I hear, right? Okay. Anything else? Twitter is the next I hear. WhatsApp, wonderful. LinkedIn, wonderful. Pinterest is another one, very good. Yeah. So Instagram, that's the one. How many in this hall do not have a Facebook account? Because I think lesser people to raise hands. Anybody who does not have a Facebook account? Wonderful, at least I have one person. Great. How many people who like your younger brothers, sisters, children, if you have in teenage, in early 20s and all, who do not go to any of these, at least one of these social medias? Okay, Facebook, I believe everybody has, but I think there will be no kid today, okay, who has basic access to computers, not have a Facebook account, do not go to Facebook, post things over there. So as we heard multiple times that this technology is there, it's there to stay. There are other, for the purpose of my discussion, my talk with you, I would like to expand a little bit more on the social media and include other things like YouTube, because it's a free service and it's available, you can upload, anybody can see. Skype, even Wikipedia, if you may, because Wikipedia is also an open forum. You can go and contribute a topic, you can go and raise questions about a topic, you can correct a topic, you can enhance the topic. Okay, and open meeting forums, I would just name one, not that I like it because I use it, GoToMeeting or meetme.com and things like that, which are again open forum, you can conduct meetings on the top of it. There is a good old classical method also, which is an open forum, which is user groups. You have heard about Microsoft user groups and Oracle user groups and C user groups and Java user groups and all that. And then there are tons of platforms where you can conduct webinars. So that's another forum. So talking about what is the potential we have. Okay, we have potential from this platform. It delivers a lot of power. What is this power? What we can do with this power? We can use this power to change the way we do things, to transform how we have been doing things, and last but not the least, which we heard very often, in people, with machines, in industry, connecting people, right? And we just heard about how much power you get when you connect, number of people. So that is the power which we get from this social media. What are the different modes we can use? Like the video mode is one of the most easy, most simple mode where we can teach, we can learn. Somebody said what a picture is worth 1,000 words. Okay, a video is worth I don't know how many tens of thousand words. Okay, with a video you are able to grasp, you are able to gain, you are able to understand things. You can actually see how things work. And using this media, okay, we can have, for example, I'm sure many of you must be aware of, like top universities in the world, they have their recorded classroom sessions freely available on the net. I have seen some, for example, from MIT, the real courseware course sessions when the MIT professors, some of them are Nobel laureates, many of them actually are Nobel laureates, when they conduct a class with their apparatus, with their gadgets, with their technology, they conduct the class, they record those sessions, and all those sessions are available on YouTube. Okay. Anybody can go and see those videos and learn what they are teaching. These days, many companies, many product companies, they are coming out with how-to guides which are on YouTube. Instead of like saying how to change the SIM in your new phone, okay, it just gives a link and you can go and see how to change the SIM. I'm giving a simple example. There can be more complex examples. Okay, people are giving manuals which are video manuals, and people can learn from that. Okay, similarly, somebody referred to Khan Academy. I think Dr. Maharaj, he was talking about Khan Academy, how many videos there are there. I keep, applauding my son to say that, look, go and see Khan Academy videos. This is of your interest, that is of your interest. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of it, but it has been taken by Bill Gates and is being funded by Microsoft's charity wing. And they started by a person in US who was of Pakistan origin, and he was giving some sessions to his cousins who were in different location in US, and he posted some videos on YouTube. And then that became a huge event. The number of people started talking about it, and now it is a formal method of teaching. My company and many of the companies today, they conduct webinars, okay, where they make a presentation, they talk about the technology, they talk about their product, and then there is an interactive session where people can ask questions and they answer those questions. Okay, there is almost like a panel discussion. We conducted something where we had like top 3 people from the industry in the panel, and then they were answering questions on the webinar. Very, very different and very interesting aspect which I discovered. I got a friend from Denmark, and she has come to Chennai to learn tabla. And I was like very curious, how, she says, yeah, so far I was taking classes in Denmark from him, and now I have come to take classes from him in person. So I was like puzzled, how are you taking classes sitting in Denmark from a person who is in Chennai? Oh, Skype, and I was like, oh, so people are using Skype to take tuitions. And then I was myself searching for some tuition for my son on internet, and very interestingly, in Chennai, I found tutors who are willing to give tuitions, but not come in person to home, or they don't want my son to go there or students to go to them, but conduct those courses on Skype. It's really, really interesting, really amazing as to what all you can do using this media in field of education. My example with the Danish girl taking tabla lessons from Chennai, Khan Academy, these kind of things are breaking the global boundaries. Okay, the time, the money, the kind of things you can learn, all those are like are dissolving. What they said, disruptive force. But this disruptive force is in a positive direction. Okay, this disruption is to create something which is something different. we are of course aware of when we are a little more serious in technology, when we are more seriously involved even in academics or in business or in industry, we get user groups. There are people who are willing to share their knowledge with anybody and everybody in the world. With whatever background they are, with whatever companies they are working, that becomes an open forum. Today, in my team, if somebody has a question on .NET and they don't know how to solve it, they go to a .NET forum, they post the question, and somebody from Ukraine, somebody from Johannesburg, somebody from US, somebody from Japan, somebody from Korea, they answer those questions. Okay. Somebody has an Oracle problem to solve, they face a very peculiar problem, or somebody is upgrading some Windows from one version to another version and they are stuck, they say some message, some issue. Okay. I was using myself upgrading my, trying to install Windows and Apple on the same desktop using some boot camp, and I see some error. And you go to a user group and then you find there are a number of people who have found these issues and they give ways of how to solve it. It's really opening horizons, it is expanding horizon, it is taking things really in a wide open way and providing us access, availability to solve these problems. So that is the potential, okay, and needless to say, I mean, I can go on giving examples after examples on how people can use these technologies to kind of, make their life easy, learn things. I have got very, very interesting thing at lunch table in my office. People are bringing new dishes to eat. Okay, totally new dishes, and sometimes I'm quite amazed, like typical South Indian Tamil ladies, and they bring like totally different Caesar salad and some salad and all, which, you normally see in a 5-star hotel menu. And they say, oh, that's so easy, we go to the YouTube and there is some site, somebody who has shared different recipes and you can have that food there. So, it is not just technology, it is not just academic, it is not just engineering, it is not just, computer science. It is pervading different aspects of life. It is going into arts, it is going into commerce, it is going into fine arts, as I was saying, tabla classes. Okay. So it is actually going and pervading almost all aspects of our life and giving us opportunity to learn there. So this is I see the potential which is very, very widespread, which is going to impact each one of us in a very real way. It is for us to use, it is for us to how we can use it and, take value out of it. Now for academic institutes, what does it take? How, you can tap this power? First and foremost, of course, is funding, right? You need money to get, lab, you get bandwidth, you get connection, and these technologies come for a price, okay? The cloud technology, of course it is nice, okay, of course it is good, okay, YouTube, wonderful, okay, but even, when the bill comes for internet, bandwidth, even I sometimes twitch, So and this is with one family, a nuclear family with 3-4 members and all, and you get like few thousand rupees of bill for internet connection, it's a problematic situation. For an institute with thousands or tens of thousands of students, if they have to download videos day in and day out, if they have to have that kind of speed where you don't see a choppy video, not a stopping video, but a smooth video where they are not distracted by it, it means cost. Okay. Not only cost, okay, it also means bandwidth in terms of connectivity, but also bandwidth in terms of teachers and students. They have to find time to sit and watch this. Okay. Do we provide for it? Do we have lab sessions for it? Do you have place for it? Okay. Do we allocate official time to get these things done? These things are very important. And there are two more things which I would like to talk about. One is that there are so many things available that people can go and get lost. Today, if you want to go into internet and try to search for anything, you are actually you come back with thousands of links. Okay, so it also requires some guidance. Okay, people can just go into a different direction and get lost. Okay, YouTube video is excuse me, saying is the worst example of it. Okay, you search for some video, but you get so many other things which sometimes you will even shy to sit and watch in front of your family, even if it is a small icon which comes on the side. How do we guide it? How do we control it? Okay. And there is another aspect of it is, which is equally important, which is very important, particularly for academic institutes and all, that we look at all these media as consumers. We want to go and search. We want to go and get. Okay. I see there is a need for enormous cultural change required, enormous change in attitude required, where we are not just consumers, we are also contributors. Okay. We are not just there to get information from Wikipedia, we are not there to just get information from different people who have done there. What we know, what we have learned, okay, what we have thought of, what we have created, okay, we should also be contributing back to it. Then only it is possible that this whole thing will grow. Otherwise, we will remain consumer and, excuse my use of term, but maybe even parasitic on the system to gain things. Do we not own responsibility? Do we not own responsibility to return back to something? So what, the famous, or the good old Latin saying, quid pro quo, that means something for something. So when we get something, we should also in return give something. So there is a huge, need for change. If in my personal experience I have seen in top academies, when there are kids who are like meritorious students, who are like in top 2 or 3, it is very saddening to say that they are secretive. If they get a good book, they learn some good method to solve something, they keep it with you because they want to be first. Okay. The whole idea of social media is based on openness, that you are willing to share what you have. Okay. When we are getting something from somebody else, okay, it is also our responsibility to share what we have with us. So there needs to be a shift, a cultural shift, a shift in thought process, and I strongly believe that responsibility lies with people like us in this room. Okay. Only teachers can teach children. They can teach that you have to be open, you have to share. That guidance is a huge requirement, and something which probably you can pick up from what we do it in industry is give rewards, give points, give credits, give merits, things like that. So those are the things which we have to we have to create, okay, and we have to take care of in enabling people to be able to use the social media. So far the story is very hunky-dory. So far the story is very good. But what are the risks? What are the issues which are there when we try to use the social media? First and foremost, I will allude to the old term which they use for printed word. In Sanskrit, it's called akshar. Akshar means akshar, something which doesn't wither, something which will not disappear, something which is everlasting and therefore eternal. Okay, for the ultimate truth, in the old Vedas, they use the term akshar satya, okay, the eternal truth. Okay, and the same term akshar is used for anything which is in print. Okay, and when the print media started, it's a very interesting thing that when the earliest print media started, whatever was printed, implicitly people believed it to be true. So today, if you go and search something on internet, whatever you see there, implicitly you believe it is correct. There have been studies in by federal bodies, there have been studies by universities, and there have also been studies by companies like Google and other search engine companies, where they try to figure out whether the information which is provided there is authentic, is credible, is correct. Okay. You can find a video which will show some method. What is the guarantee it is correct? There are people in the world, okay, who actually put disruptive information, who put wrong information in there. Okay. I know, for example, in certain parts of the world, in our country if you go, there will be some mischievous minded people where you go and ask them for a direction. Instead of the direction they know is you have to go and turn left, and they will intentionally tell you go and turn right. There are things like this in this world. Okay. So we have to be cautious about we have to know what we have to, what we have to, I'm sorry, looks my time is out. I'll take few more minutes, okay, and just quickly point to some of these risks, and therefore the need for filtering information. Like I was referring to YouTube, and then in YouTube you see that all kind of things you see. How do you filter it? Okay. Is there a way to filter? Unfortunately, what happens, the next part comes over, the commercialization comes over, the advertisement comes over. There are technologies like AdSense and all that, okay. And when you start searching for things, you get advertisement. Now you have no control on what advertisement comes over there. Okay, what advertisements are shown there, whether you like it or not, it is there. Okay. There are other things which are like economic implications. So a few months back there was a huge hue and cry about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, right? It is the okay, that is currency on the internet, and this is it's a huge parallel system of currency which is running on internet. What happens to the existing bank? What happened to the currency which is there in my pocket? Okay. What happens to the currency which is loaded on my credit card? This is a totally different currency which has no relation whatsoever to the existing set of currency. So while disruptive technologies and all are good, okay, but if they disrupt the solid economic basis on which the today's society is running, it can pose a very potential threat. What happens to the legalities? What happens to the licensing? What happens to the taxation? Today, people go and post anything which they have got onto the YouTube, onto the internet. What happens if from a corporate world, people take code which, the software which, companies have spent a lot of money to develop, and somebody goes and puts it on internet for free? What happens to if somebody in the room, who have patented something and somebody copies and puts it on the internet for anybody to use it? The legalities, the taxation laws and all, they also need to be thought about. Okay. Other thing which I am finding is that, and these are two very, very serious issues for me in person, particularly as a father and also trying to be a very sincere and good citizen to this country and this world. When we are getting this information free, when we are getting this information so easily accessible, I find there is a definite erosion in, even in effort, there is a loss in original thinking. People stop thinking. Okay, therefore, if you know, after a few years of TV, the TV was called as idiot box. And the reason it was called idiot box is because it was making people idiots. People will sit in front of it mindlessly. They will just absorb whatever is shown it to them by the companies. Where is original thinking? Where a person is able to sit below a neem tree or in a corner of his house and think what I have to do, what I can create, what is my problem, how do I solve it? I remember when I was a student, the guides and the key books, we used to call it kunji, okay, key books were abhorred. It was detestful, it was people used to think, oh, this guy uses a guidebook, this guy uses keys. That means he is no good. But today this is the order of the day. And now you don't even have to go to the book, you have to just type some words and get answers. Where is my original thinking? I see an erosion in ability to do that, and that's really disconcerting. That's really disconcerting. And last but not the least, my very favorite topic is, I believe the learning is from people to people. The learning is from a person to person. That is why in good old days, there were gurukulas. The students were supposed to go and live with their teachers. In old Sufi orders, if you know, okay, the Shagird used to go to Ustad and used to sit with them and have discussions and have meditations and read and study. Even modern times, there are so many colleges which prefer people to come and stay in residential institutes and try to foster a culture of education. What happens to learning from person to person? Because in a YouTube video, when you are taking tuition, the guy can talk, you can mute. Okay, you can turn the camera anywhere else. You can just take your call in between and keep texting. Of course, it happens in a classroom also. That's a different thing. Okay, so for me, it is a very disconcerting thing as to how do you do this? Okay, how do you control these things? How do you regulate those things? How do we transfer learning from person to person? While the media has, all the social media has enormous power, as I said, to connect, to create and all that. This also has power to destroy, to corrupt, to disrupt, and to bring down. The whole idea of technology, the whole idea of this is, how do we create a framework? Therefore, I believe institutions, industries, they have to come together to a platform like this, Mr. Shivkumar, and try to create a framework where these norms, these things are understood by people who are seriously in the business, and they want to help students, they want to let the society grow. Try to create a framework. Try to create a framework where these things are modulated, they are understood, they are regulated, and very sincerely articulated in day-to-day education where students get benefited. In good old days, we used to talk about the data, like the data to information was a big thing when computers came. Okay. And that is how today we call IT, information technology, as the whole area. After some time, the information became knowledge, and the knowledge became very important. Okay. Very recently, I saw that it is not just the knowledge which is important, from the knowledge what skill you get, that is important. And I was thinking this little more, and I was thinking it is not just the skill which is important, it is the using that skill, what value you bring into the society, you bring to people, that is important. And last, using that value, what do you do? Okay, I see that is the order of divine order, whether it is the order of nature, it is the order of humanity, that value should help us in evolving the society. Our society should go to the next level. So dear friends, I will leave at this thought that how do we create an environment, how do we create a structure, how do we create a system that all of us put together, academia and industry, using this kind of bridge platform, move towards a better world. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Pravin, for sharing us some interesting thoughts on social media. Social media today has become a way of life. I learned Twitter because my wife used to tweet me whether the dinner is ready or not. So that's how I learned Twitter. So thanks for sharing some interesting thought.